Hello everyone, this is Lolly. I want to share with you my paper clip for February theme. The theme for February is friendship, and I started to think about friends having tea together. So I made this little tea bag, and it is a paper clip. It says tea with friends, and I will show you what you're going to need. Before I get started, I want you to know that the instructions for this tea bag came from this lovely YouTuber right here, and I will give you a link down below to her video. But I am making mine into a paper clip, and I'm changing the dimensions and the construction. But it's very, very close to what she did on her video. This is her size right here, but I'm changing it because I want mine to be a little shorter than this. I think it's a little too long for me. So here we go. What you're going to need besides your paper clip, you're going to need a piece of vellum that is 3.5 by 5 inches long. You need a scoreboard or a way to score this. It doesn't have to be a scoreboard. Sequins or whatever you want for the inside. You need something to make the little, you could just cut a square here. You don't have to have a punch. And a stapler and some twine or a string or a crochet, whatever you need for yours. So let's get this out, and I like to use one of these styluses or a bone folder that's kind of narrow on the end when I do vellum. With the long side up here, we're going to score it at 2, 2.5, and 3. Rotate it so that you have the short side up here scored at 1 and 2.5. Okay, and then we're going to fold that over on the score line and give that a good burnish. Fold it over on this one. Now, I have vellum tape in my shop, but you don't really need vellum tape for this. Vellum tape is when you don't want the tape to be seen through the vellum. You are not going to see your double-sided tape. So you're okay with this using regular double-sided tape. So we're going to take this and run it along the edge, one long edge. And there we go. Okay, now with that folded edge, with the overlap side facing up, this middle score, fold it like a mountain, okay? So we've got the overlap side facing up. Now that we have the mountain, we're going to do 2 valley folds on either side of that. So your smooth sides are on the outside. You have this W, and you've got the smooth sides here, and your hidden fold line on the inside. Now the other thing we want to do is just trim one of these off just a little bit, probably about 1/8 of an inch. Makes it easier to fold. And then we're going to put in our sequins. I'm using, usually I mix sequins and beads, but I want this to look more like tea. So I'm using Champagne Shine by Nuvo. And the amount you put in here is up to you. It depends on how chunky you want your tea bag to be. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over. And this likes to move around because vellum's kind of slick. So I'm just going to pin this down for a minute for me. And what I want to do with these top corners is to fold them in, kind of look at the center there, pinch it, and then fold the flaps down toward each other till they meet. And this one. Give it a nice triangle look on the top. There. Now see, to me, I like that shape better because it looks more like a real size of a tea bag, whereas this one was just a little too long for me. The other thing I want to use, you need to use a glue that is going to work on vellum. I know the Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive does, but you can also use your tape to do this. Take a piece of twine or cotton crochet cotton, cut it about 3 3/4 inches. And then lift up these flaps here and just put a little bit of glue in there and tuck this end under there. And I'm going to put a line right up the middle and put that right there down the center. hold that in place for a second. Now I'm going to glue both these flaps down one at a time on each side. A little bit of glue there. A little bit of glue there. I'm making sure I glue them both down. You know, there's 2 layers here. Kind of have to do this point thing here because that is what seals the sequins in the bag so they don't come out. And then we've got our tea bag with our cute little string sticking out. I'm just holding that right now, but I can do this. There we go. Okay, now what we can do is we can put, if you will cut out, this is a 3/4 inch, kind of a scallop square, but you can cut any square just with your paper and ruler and measure it out, an inch square or 3/4 inch square. And I'm going to cut it out here. You need 2 of them though, so make sure you cut 2. And I want a little bit of distressing, so I'm using the Vintage Photo because it's too bright white for me. So let's just tone that down a little bit. You do need a stapler for this project as well, and I've decided what I want to do too is kind of distress the edges here of my tea bag. Make it look like it's really got tea in it. Okay. So I'm going to turn these over, get my glue again, put that right in the middle, some glue on top. Make sure you put extra glue on top of your string there. Okay, now I'm using the tiny attacher. You don't have to invest in this. Go ahead and staple right over that string and then staple right over the string here. And I like the look, so I'm not going to cover the staple up because I've had tea bags that have had staples in them like that. So I am going to leave my staple uncovered. But now you can decorate your little paper and you can decorate this. And you don't have to make a paper clip out of yours because this is very, very cute. And if you don't fill it too full, you can use this as a pocket embellishment in your craft projects. Looks like I need to press my baker's twine. Okay, so I happen to have a heart punch and a teacup punch. When you're using punches on something this small, make sure you use a tiny pattern like this. So I'm going to cut, I see this little bird there, I like that. I don't think, yeah, it's going to reach. Okay, I want a teacup for that. I think I'm going to put another one on the back as well. And then on the front, I'm going to use 2 hearts. I want it to be kind of colorful, so I'm putting it over the flowers. And I'll use this with the, let's see, I want them to look, oh, that didn't work at all. Let me get that back here. I didn't get that. And then I'll punch one out of these pretty pink flowers right here. Okay, I want 2 hearts on mine because I'm thinking of this as friends having tea. Okay, so I'm going to, and I think I might add a little bit, not much there. You could also put a heart in the middle of this and then put a sequin right in the middle, or a, you know, a bead or a pearl or something like that. Flip that over and repeat. You could also put words on it. Now, I don't have stamps that are tiny enough to use on these tea bags, so I printed out the words Tea with Friends, and I'll give you a link down below to the font that I used. And I have that, the font at number 14. Okay, now on this, I want to add some embellishment, and I have some lace that I'm going to cut a chunk out of. It's pretty quick at this point. Embellish with whatever scraps you have. I have a little square of lace. Turn it that way. And I have this kind of gold, it's really narrow twine, almost a thread. I'm going to start with it aiming down on my finger and go all the way around once and twice. And I think go end up at the top like that. I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to pinch it in the middle, and I'm just going to twist it around once like that. Get my Fabri-Tac out. I use Fabri-Tac whenever I'm gluing threads or yarn or ribbon, fabric, any of that. I'm just going to put a dot right there. Hold that in place. I'm putting both of my fingers around either side of it right there. And then I'm going to go on top of it and all around it so that I can glue that chunk of lace there. I'm putting that at an angle kind of. Let's do it this way. Okay, so I have the little gold threads sticking out right there and right there, so you could see them. I'm spreading them out a little bit. Okay, and now because that's lace, I'm also going to use Fabri-Tac to adhere these to the ribbon. Whoops, stuck to my finger. 2 of those. Now, I had printed these out, so I'm going to cut that out. Give it a little brush. I do want the ends of this being a little distressed. And I do not try to cut out these typed words straight. I mean, they're crooked kind of on purpose. I'm going to pinch that and glue that under the hearts. Okay, and the last thing I want to do is glue a couple of faux pearls on this. Now I'm going to use gem tack for this, and they don't have to be flat back pearls. These are just pearls with beads that you have holes in. As long as you don't put the holes sticking straight up, it's not noticeable. So I just have this piece of jewelry here, and I'm looking for a couple of beads. There's 1 and 2. So on these, you just turn the holes sideways, not facing up. This one is facing up, so I'm going to put that in my hand and see if I can grab it with the holes facing sideways, and you really don't even notice once it's on your project. Drop that down in there. So we have 2 hearts and we have 2 pearls. Isn't that fun? Okay, so now what I want to do is just put it on my paper clip. So I'm going to use the paper clip blanks. These are in my shop. Snap that in place. And I'm going to use a permanent adhesive like Power Tack here. I go around, make sure I get the very, very edge, because it has a lip on it, and I want to get that lip because that's really what's going to be touching the tea bag here. Now, you need to let this set for a good 20 minutes before you play with it, and really 24 hours before you give it put any stress on it at all. So, there you go. There's the paper clip. And I'm going to put these side by side, and you can compare. And then here's the other paper clip. So let's put this over here. And I know that I can't budge that, so I'm going to try and be very careful. There you go. Now you can see the different dimensions there. And I will give you a link to her video. And then if you like this tall one, you can use her dimensions. If you like the short, chubby one, you can use this dimension here. So thank you for watching, and I hope that really inspires you. I'll give you a link down below to our paperclip art group, and you can, if you join, you do have to be on Facebook for over a year to join, and we have a monthly challenge with a different theme, and this month is friendship. Thank you everyone for watching. This has been such a fun project to work on.